grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety splicket, go watch a movie. So what's better than one Deadpool, wisecracking son of a bitch? 5 wisecracking, less obvious joke with better storyline sons of bitches. The old guard today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Welcome to Go Watch a Movie. We're back after a brief hiatus. Apologies for that. But sometimes the world sucks. But before we get to the old guard, a little bit of entertainment news. Sir, are you a fan of Peter Pan?
In general. I don't dress like, run around dressed like I'm in playing trees. But yeah.
He can fly. There's so many iterations of Peter Pan now. Of course, the Disney versions, and then there's a lot of other versions. Hook, one of my favorites, because we got to see a continuation of that whole situation. But there's a new one coming out, and Jude Law has been selected to play Captain Hook.
Okay.
I can dig it. I'm a big fan of Jude Law. So, well, I shouldn't say big fan. I'm a fan of his work. He hasn't really disappointed yet. Not that I can think of. But do we need another Peter Pan, I guess, is the real question here. What do you think?
Who's going to be the Peter Pan in that?
Hasn't been cast yet.
Oh, hasn't been cast yet. I guess I thought the Hook was more important. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you got to start with the villain and then cast around him.
Okay.
I don't know. I like Hook, but I guess that's the question I should ask. Is his name? His name is James T. Hook, right?
I believe.
Isn't that weird? Like his name
makes total sense. Before he got the Hook. Makes total sense.
He was just a dude whose name was James T. Hook. And the crocodile happened to bite his hand off, and he's like, well,
yeah, it works. Makes sense. Makes sense to me.
I guess that fits. Were you a Ninja Turtles fan, sir?
Absolutely.
Do you remember the mutant rabbit,
Yes.
Yojimbo?
Mm-hmm.
Netflix is doing a CG series of said rabbit.
That's interesting.
Yes, that's what I said.
Well, of course, the Turtles are going to have to show up eventually. Like, they'll have to do cameos or something.
Because he was from like a different universe, right?
I believe so.
If I remember right. So, yeah, they would have to do a cameo. Yeah.
Well, I guess they wouldn't have to, but it would make sense because you would want to tie it together.
Yeah, to make things right. Yeah, you need the Turtles. Because, I mean, how many kids or how many people in general are going to remember people our age, I guess, like Usagi Jimbo. Otherwise, I mean, I guess I'm not familiar with the current iteration of Turtles, so they may have reintroduced him because there were a lot of them. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it was an odd choice for Netflix. Like, yeah, that rabbit, Usagi Jimbo.
I appreciate them trying, if nothing else. I mean, they can't just keep doing Turtles over and over and over and over again, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and we always ask for new stuff. We always want new things, and this is kind of new. It's new, dude.
Yeah,
new.
Spin-off. How do you feel about spin-offs, though? Because there's been so many different spin-offs, from popular TV shows to obviously the Turtles.
I get to see more of the worlds that are made. I get to, dive a little bit deeper. I'm all for spin-offs. I guess.
I like the idea of spin-offs, but I don't feel like they ever really do better than the original thing. So I feel like they're always a step down.
You're 100% right. I can't think of a spinoff that lasted the test of time compared to the original. I'm trying to rack my brain here.
I can't do it. Can't think of one.
Yeah. Maybe, nope. No. Can't. I guess Batman has quite a few and is getting yet another. But yeah, I can't think of any. But speaking of spinoffs, the Game of Thrones spinoff, the House of Dragons, I want to say is the name of that one, is looking for its main woman, the Targaryen female. I guess we just kind of talked about it, but Game of Thrones is its own different thing. After that ending, what do you think, man?
Again,
are you done with it?
I'm not. Like, I'm interested. What was the? I'm sorry. I apologize for not remembering these characters' names. The main girl, the young daughter who got all the faces.
Oh,
was it? I don't want to sound like an idiot, but I already do. So, what's her name? Is it Ari or something?
Arya. Yeah.
Arya. Okay. I want to see. I would just want to see her adventures as she goes off and explores the world. I mean, that to me seems more interesting, especially with that.
Seeing as how they just kind of forgot her training towards the end.
Yeah, and she has all those faces, so she could be anybody. She could I mean, there's the potential for a series there is just mind blowing, I think. But that's what I would want to go further along, maybe, instead of, I don't know, I'm not for sure what they're doing. Yeah, I'm not a prequel fan. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. But if they were to continue on with her story, I think that would be great, especially with all those abilities and all that stuff going on. She has quite the story still to tell, I think. Plus, I'm assuming the actress is still available and could still, play the part. You might as well grab a hold of it while you can.
She's one of those actresses that looks forever a teenager. So she's definitely capable of doing that, even though they kind of ruined her innocence with the sex scene at the end there.
It was bound to happen. It was Game of Thrones. Everybody got naked at some point for no reason.
That's true. The many faces of Arya. There we go.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's yours. Take it. That's all yours. Theme song. Turn around, because there is Arya. See? This is stuff right itself. We got you.
Yeah. Perfect.
Moving on to let's discuss the showbiz. Well, this one, we normally try and get into some deep conversations about the entertainment business with Let's Discuss the Showbiz, but a picture was released of a particular movie that's coming out, Godzilla versus King Kong.
Uh-oh.
And you haven't seen this yet?
I have not seen the picture yet.
So yeah, a picture came out of those two going head to head, and I posted, who do you guys got? Who's your money on? I got a lot of replies. Everybody was against the ape, but me. So that's not like, oh, Kong's gonna get destroyed,
I think it looks like he's going to put up a fight, but the other guy looks bulkier to me. He looks like, and he's got that fire.
He looks like a fat, out of shape. I've been sitting in the water. Oh.
I wouldn't try to tackle a sumo wrestler, and that's what it looks like he's trying to do.
Oh my goodness. You would bring up the most respected people. The most respected fighters of all. Okay, so here's my thoughts. One guy posted one nuclear blast and it's over. I think one nuclear blast, my boy Kong dodges it and notices that fucking Godzilla's blast takes ding dong, ding dong, ding, to charge up. He's like, oh, this son of a bitch is kind of.
He might be mesmerized by the sound and the lights, though. What if that happens?
Apes do get distracted by colors easily, but I think he notices that once and he's like, oh, okay. So I know when that happens, I just need to dodge this chubby son of a bitch. And I'm fine. So my money's on Kong. It sounds like you have Godzilla.
I think from looking at the picture, solely based on the picture, I would say Godzilla has this battle. But I will say, from my imagination, I'm seeing Kong go crazy on him.
Yes,
and just start, beating his chest, and all of a sudden starts beating him. So I don't know.
So I'm gonna put it this way: in any circumstance, even on the Galapagos Islands where iguanas get very large, there's no way an iguana is beating a silverback gorilla.
No, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
But I just think it's fascinating. And like I pointed out on Instagram, there were two versions of this movie made in the past, one by the Japanese, one by America. And the American versions, much like this iteration is showing, they were the same size, Kong and Godzilla. The Japanese version, Godzilla was a lot bigger than Kong and won wholeheartedly. But I just think this isn't like Freddy versus Jason. This is like, are there people out there who like, oh, Godzilla has to win or oh, Kong has to win? Like, you think this has that kind of fan base, or do you think? What do you think?
I think there are some fans out there who are going crazy over who's going to win. Because I like them both. I don't really want to see either, because they're both the hero. I mean, you don't really want to see either one of them lose, in my opinion.
It's true. I guess I didn't look at it that way.
I guess it's just more who do you like more? Do you like Kong more, or do you like Godzilla more? I personally am a Kong guy. Do you have a preference, or are you even with them? I'm fairly even, but again, I feel like, if we base this off the movies that we've seen so far, and I know they're going to make them the same size, I just don't understand how he's going to get that much bigger.
Kong was a baby in Skull Island,
but he didn't look like a baby. That's a big baby.
Yeah, that's
a crazy sized baby.
But okay, so
he looked like a full grown. He didn't look like a baby though. He looked like a full grown Kong.
But you saw like they showed the skulls of his family in the cave and stuff. The bones, they were a lot bigger than him. But looking at that picture can be found on the Go Watch Movie social medias. If Kong gets on his back or side, those little stubby arms of Godzilla ain't doing jack. Well, he can't get on his back, I guess, with those size.
Okay, well, let's look at the history of Godzilla in these movies that we've seen so far. Though he takes on how many giant creatures already?
He is the
He's the guy.
He's the reigning, defending, undisputed monster heavyweight champion of the world. I get that. He's the king of monsters. He has that title. But Kong also has. He's a king.
Okay. but Godzilla's a god,
King of
basically.
Monsters versus King Kong. So we have King versus King here. So it sounds like, in my opinion, Kong is the underdog in this.
I do feel like Kong is the underdog. I do want to. You know what I want to see? This is what I want to see. I want to see them fight at first. Kind of like Vegeta and Goku, and then all of a sudden something bigger comes along, and they're like,
"No,
you don't want to see it. You don't want to see that."
It happens too much. I was just gonna say they better not Batman v Superman this. Oh, you know Martha too? Yeah, she's a giant moth that flies around. Oh,
I don't want to see either one of them lose. That's my problem. I don't want to see either one of them lose. I want to see them both be triumphant.
I know that's what they're gonna do, but I want a clear winner. I want someone to be laying on the ground, basically on their deathbed, and then you bring in the big guy, and then the injured one can help out any way they can while injured. But I know they're gonna mid-fight. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, there's now a fucking giant triceratops that comes." Yeah. I know it's gonna happen.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us.
I hope they do. That's all we can ask for. That'll bring us to trailers. You first to me, sir.
I'll go ahead and give her a go. Alrighty. So I love me some horror, and we got a horror trailer for you. It's called Blood Vessel, and let me warn you, there's nothing really new. It's people on a ship with monsters, basically. But I feel like with this type of movie, they've polished it enough that it looks really good, even though it's not really a new idea for the most part. It's really polished, and it really looks like they did a good job with it, as opposed to just throwing something together really quick. So basically, there's like a life raft full of folks. I don't know where they're coming from. They're out in the middle of the ocean, and they run into the ship. And they're like, okay, let's climb up the ship, to get to safety. So they get up there, and there's like nobody there. And it's apparently this old Nazi ship. So I don't know how long it's been floating around out there. So they start to explore the ship, and then they discover that there's all this, because you know how the Nazis apparently back in the day were all into the occult and all that kind of stuff. There's like some weird stuff going on. All of a sudden, there's like, they find this person, and they're like, are you okay? And then the person bites them. And then it turns into this like, okay, it's a vampire movie. So there's all these crazy Nazi-like vampires on a ship, and all these people are trapped on the ship with them, basically fighting for their lives. Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous and stupid, but it looks really polished and good. So I'm kind of excited for this one, and I think it's kind of a good idea, and I like the name of it, Blood Vessel. I mean, how can you?
Blood Vessel. Yeah.
It just rolls right off the tongue.
It does. Don't pop a blood vessel.
Mm-hmm. Or get on one.
Yeah. I'm going to have to check that trailer out. I have not seen that one. Mine is Don't Look Deeper. This is a new sci-fi one with Mr. Don Cheadle, the aforementioned replacement for Terrence Howard as War Machine. So this is about, I guess there's this girl, he plays her father. She is going through stuff. She's normal. She's an average girl, at least on the surface. It tries to give the appearance of, I think the trailer shows a little bit too much, but then she goes to this science fair in which somebody has a science project in which they turn it on and it lets out this vibration that nobody else can hear, but it deafens her basically, and she to the point where she passes out. And the absurdity, that's the word I'm looking for, starts from there. Because she then starts to realize her world is not what it seems. And in fact, it doesn't say it out, but you can pretty much tell she's a cyborg, because suddenly they start showing glimpses of these other cyborgs' failures and stuff like that. And there's talk of, she can't find out who she is, because if she's aware, then they all will become aware, or whatever, that sort of thing. Looks interesting. Like I said, I think the trailer should have done a better job of hiding that fact that maybe she's one of them. But yeah, that's Don't Look Deeper. Looks interesting. So I recommend that trailer, checking that out.
Sounds cool.
And that will bring us to the old guard. Watchbot, if you would not mind.
A group of mercenaries, all centuries-old immortals with the ability to heal themselves, discover someone is onto their secret, and they must fight to protect their freedom. It stars Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Matthias Schoenaerts, Marwan Kenzari, and Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Thank you, Watchbot. As I said before, undead mercenaries, they're not undead, I guess, immortal mercenaries. We've seen it. Deadpool, he goes a mile a minute with the mouth. Merc with the mouth, that's his name. You take out that, add a little depth, and you got old guard.
Okay.
That's the end of this episode. Thanks for joining us. No, I think this movie does something good. And I like that it's on Netflix and it's getting all the accolades that it should. Big fan of Charlize Theron in these action roles. And my biggest the thing I love the most about this movie is the lore that they threw in here, and I've been seeing a lot more getting thrown out here. Yeah, I'm a fan. What do you think of this one, sir?
Let's first of all, let me just say, like you said, Charlize Theron is amazing. I think she's her body. She does have a hit and miss, record with some movies. I'm not gonna lie, but overall, she does a really good job. I mean, she's a very accomplished and talented actress. That being said. Yes. And it doesn't, I mean, it shows in some ways, but it doesn't in others. I mean, she still seems fresh sometimes when you watch her. You don't think you're just watching somebody repeat the same old thing over and over again. But after that, I will say I do have a couple problems with this movie. I'm not saying it's not enjoyable and I did not like it. I'm just saying I do have some issues with it. One, it doesn't feel as original as I wanted it to feel. So most of my problems with it are just me personally. It's just my feelings towards the movie. Like, I didn't feel original. I felt like I was watching like a cross between like Mission Impossible meets Highlander. It's like I didn't feel like, I felt like it could have been more original. Maybe they could have like delved into why they are the way they are more. Something to set it apart from other films or things that are similar to it. I just didn't feel it was that original of an idea, which kind of bugged me. Second thing it suffers from is the whole thing with trailers. Sometimes trailers give away far too much, and then when you watch the movie, you're like, okay, I already know that because I just watched it in the trailer, So I wish they would have left some things out of the trailer so that it would have seemed somewhat of a surprise in the movie. And so that's another thing that I didn't like about it. The third thing and the final thing that I'll complain about, and I'll be done complaining for the most part, is that it didn't feel like a finished story, which was purposeful because they are making more apparently. Or possibly making more. I'm sure they are because it's doing fairly well. It didn't feel like a completed story, and I kind of wanted a completed story, and then they could have just continued from that, as opposed to the huge cliffhanger, and then introducing a character like midway through the movie, and then giving you another little taste of it later, without really incorporating that character somewhere else into the movie. Yeah. I would have preferred like maybe that person be, somehow involved with the people who are capturing them or something, anything just to further incorporate that person into the movie and not just leave this big gaping hole of, oh, this isn't a complete story. It just feels like an introduction to their story as opposed to, a complete finished work. I didn't feel like it was finished. I felt like it was like it was an introduction to.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest.
It felt like
it ends. It's like it ends. It's basically one long movie when you go into the At World's End. Like it literally, like they should have been one movie, but we're gonna leave a cliffhanger. Yeah,
it felt like a pilot to a series of movies that they already know they're going to make, instead of like a completed movie, like just finished.
Isn't that arrogant?
It in a way, it is, but I understand why they did it. I just wish they had. I wish they had written like something that was more complete, so that I would be left like, wow, that was awesome. Not like, oh wow, there's more. So I don't have the full story. So I'm left, wondering.
My biggest thing was character development. I thought some characters were fleshed out. Okay, I won't say great because nobody was fleshed out great in my opinion, but I think for a 2-hour and something movie, it could have went a little deeper. Like I like that Andy, her character, had this. She was torn because she lost somebody, kind of a troubled past, etc. But everyone else kind of seemed like a side note as far as like. Why should we care about this person? Okay,
it felt like
these two were enemies, but they turn lovers. Thanks. Okay, now, but what else?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have enjoyed it more if they had taken a different approach, not necessarily with the idea of the story, but just how they presented it. Because I just feel like it wasn't completed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could just be nitpicking at it, which is possible, but at the same time, I feel like Netflix has had some really strong showings with like, what was it, Extraction?
Extraction, yeah, especially lately.
Just freaking mind-blowing to me how good that was and I hate to say it for a Netflix movie, but I'm going to say it. I mean, for a Netflix
movie. But I think they're changing their they're changing that mold.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they're tired of people saying for a Netflix movie, because now they're bringing in these big stars with Extraction. Now this, and they're like,
even Six Underground.
Yeah, even Six Underground. Yeah, even before both of those,
which has its problems, but still it was super entertaining, which is the point. Yeah. So,
and before that, actually no, I don't think that was Netflix. Never mind, forget that stall. Yeah. So I think they're trying to rid themselves of that before Netflix film that was good stigma, and I mean for third outing, I mean I'm sure there probably are others we're missing, but you know this one's getting the attention that Extraction got. I think this was not too bad. Like you said though, I agree it has its problems, but. And especially since it's based on a graphic novel as well, which I didn't realize until, like a week ago. But yeah,
and I hate to nitpick at it, but even some of the plot is a little like some of the storyline is a little funky for me. Like the whole point where like at the beginning she's like the girl accidentally takes her picture and she's so like clever at how she's like just walks over and like want me to take a picture for you, and takes it so she can delete herself. That would have been funny. She's so careful at hiding her identity and I guess the identity of her crew as well that they push that point forward, but then there's this dude who's got like just poster boards of all their pictures, like of everything. It's like he's just this genius like detective or something because he has every photo they've ever been in. And I'm just like, wait a second, she's supposed to be invisible. She makes herself invisible, but this guy somehow found everything.
Yeah, I will get this straight. He is amazing. He's one of my favorite actors whose name I can't pronounce. He's great.
He is an amazing actor. However, in this film, I think he was shortchanged. He just plays the same character he usually plays.
But now he's their Professor X, basically. He's
kind of more like an Alfred or something.
Because he's the guy who gets the missions. Yes, she kind of made him her bitch at the end, but and spoilers once again. But he's like now he's the guy who erases every trace of them, and he's the one who finds the missions that they need to be on. But yeah, he's like I think I said Charles Xavier, and. We're going to see, I guess, next movie, which I guess, like you said, is the sucky part. We have to wait until next movie to see how much influence he actually has on the team. I guess that part does suck.
Yes, I just feel more like he's an errand boy. He just does their, it doesn't seem like he's I guess he's a member, but it feels like he's more like an errand boy. Who isn't an immortal.
That's true. But I think I already said spoilers. There's two of them now. There's two not immortal. So how does the team function when she's gone?
I don't know. I'm still can we get? I guess we can get into spoiler territory. Yeah. Because I want to mention because the whole point of these people becoming whatever they're becoming is to become together and do whatever it is they're going to do together. So even when one of them betrays them, the punishment for that is basically being exiled for 100 years, 150 years, whatever it was.
100, yeah.
So I'm like, first of all, they're like, you have to go away for 100 years and then come back to the spot, and then we'll take you back. That's your punishment, which just doesn't make any sense to me. I know they're immortal, and that's a long time. However, if the whole point of them is to do their good together, separating is not probably going to be a good idea. One. Two, if I was a guy who got exiled, I'd be like, okay, I'll be here in 100 years. And then be like, as soon as I walk away, be like, screw you guys.
Peace out.
Yeah, you're not come back if you want to. You're never going to see me again. If you do see me, it's going to be as an enemy, not as a friend. So you're isolating something that you should be keeping with you and cultivating the relationship as opposed to just throwing it away.
And apparently one of them wanted to just have his punishment be an apology. So
make him do the dishes for everybody for 100 years. I don't know, something that it's just but not just complete exile, because you're breaking the groove up. The whole point is being together. It doesn't make sense if you tout that the whole entire movie. We need to be a group. We need to be together and united, and then all of a sudden throw one of them out.
Yeah,
actually, I guess maybe two of them if you think about it.
I think what you said is actually what probably the plot of the next one, because what's her face is back now from her hellacious, just the most god awful thing you could ever think of in life.
Yeah, but here's another problem. I have another problem.
Go ahead.
Why?
I'm just saying, okay. Let me get, because she's going to, now I'm sure she's going to be the big bad and have some kind of hostility towards Charlize Theron for never looking for her, blah, blah, blah. And now he's going to be on the outs, like you just said, because, they kicked me out to kick me to the curb for no reason, so. Yeah, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When she enters, sorry to spoil everything if you haven't seen the movie yet. Please, I mean, clearly you know to watch before you listen to us because we're going to spoil everything. But I mean, I feel like I hope they make her batshit crazy, because if she was really down there for that long, continually to drown over and over again and come back to life,
500 plus years.
That's going to make you insane. But when they introduce her at the end of the movie, she's just like, "Oh, hey, hi." And you know what I mean? Not like batshit crazy like you would expect her to be, or off in some way. She was just like, hey, what's going on?
Hopefully she'll be one of those reserved, because I agree 100%. Hopefully she's one of those reserved, on the surface, eccentric villains, but then she'll have those not momentarily, but like sporadic lapses of sanity where she just like flips out or starts dancing.
I want crazy. That's what I feel like that person should be, or just murdery crazy. Like all of a sudden, just kills a bunch of people for no reason, just to make a point.
She should be so bloodthirsty after 500 plus years of drowning over and over and over again.
Yeah, but I didn't get the idea that that's the direction they were going to go. So that kind of bothers me too. Like it would seem obvious that would be a great opportunity to have this over the top character, because everybody else seemed fairly grounded and normal.
Yeah.
You need some contrast in there. And I guess the villain in this one was a little eccentric, a little weird, but not, out there. But she has real potential to be, extraordinary, but I don't think they grabbed a hold of that idea.
I agreed. I think I hated the confusion in the newest member of the team, whose name has slipped my mind here. I was not a fan.
Niall was the name of the character.
Niall, yeah. Not a big fan of, because it's like, at one point she made a statement of, you just want me to go in blind willy-nilly and not know why? It's like, you're a Marine. I apologize to our own forces, but come on.
Yeah, and that's I guess the moment was supposed to piss me off. I didn't like how her fellow Marines turned on her.
No, very quickly.
I thought that was, they go through so much together. How can you? I mean, that should be your brother or your sister for life. You know what I mean? Like those are your people. And then all of a sudden, one weird thing happens, and you're like, nah, you got to go. I didn't like that either. I have so many problems with this movie, but I was entertained. I will give it.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I was critiquing all along. Like, man, they could have done that better. They could have explained that better. But at the same time, I pretty much enjoyed it for the most part, and I want more. I guess so.
I only want more so I can have a complete story in my head instead of this half one.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, but you didn't tell me.
Do you have Rotten Tomatoes put up, good sir?
I do, and people love it. The tomato meter is an 81%. Certified fresh, and your audience score is a 72.
Yeah.
So overwhelmingly, most people really, really enjoyed this film.
Yeah. What do you give it? What's the
if I were to give it a percentile number, I'd probably give it maybe a 60%.
Oh, holy shit!
It's like obviously 100% being like perfect, and then 0 being just shit. But yeah. It wasn't bad. Like I'm saying, I just had my little nitpicks. I feel like I watched the trailer and I was so intrigued by the trailer. I thought they could really go somewhere with it and really make this awesome, amazing movie. But instead of getting that, I got a pilot episode to a series of.
Join us next time for the rest of this franchise.
Yeah, it's just, I wanted a complete thing and I didn't get it, so I'm upset.
I want to say, grab your popcorn and go watch this one. It's not bad. It's not a horrible movie. Yes, there are some there was some glaring stuff that could be changed. And yeah, it's not an ending, sadly. But I mean, I guess they do what they set out to do. They kill the doctor who wants to experiment on them, but whatever.
It is entertaining, and despite my criticisms, I did enjoy the watch. I would watch it again, and I will obviously watch the next one. But man, I wish I was open for something different, I guess.
Yeah. It's kind of reminiscent of me and Gemini, man. But yeah, that is the Old Guard. Disagree? Agree? Let us know. We want to hear from you, especially going on this new phase of Go Watch the Movie, because we're back with a fucking vengeance and we're taking fucking names. All of you listen to that. Sorry. But where you can find us, you can find us at gowatchamovie.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere a podcast can be played, etc., etc. Like I should say, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart. Yeah, and that is episode 142. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie. Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety-splicket. Go watch a movie.